One of the common objections I hear to the lifestyle of semen retention is semen retention causes prostate cancer. We know that specifically around No Nut November especially, there are lots of articles about men should ejaculate 21 times a month. Mainstream media, said this is dangerous, men should be ejaculating more. I'm sure if you're watching this channel, you're way beyond, you understand that mainstream media does not have your best interest at heart. They're ultimately a propaganda wing, largely for big pharmaceuticals. I'm not going to get into that aspect of it, but I do want you to, at the end of the day, make your own conclusions. So, does semen retention cause prostate cancer? No. And I'm going to explain my perspective in this video so that you can make your own decision. Let's get into it. Hi, my name is Nicola Dawes and I help men master their S3X energy so you can become a powerhouse both in and outside the bedroom and ultimately unleash your God-given abilities. If you want to learn more about semen retention, the process of transmutation, and how this practice can benefit your life, go take the free transmutation guide. It's a great place to get started. Lots of information as well as an alchemy practice that you can apply right away. So let's directly talk about this common objection about semen retention causes prostate cancer. Semen retention doesn't cause prostate cancer. It's kind of a ridiculous notion in my mind, but I can understand why you might be confused because there are articles that says that it does, even though I've read many of those articles, including the study that it potentially came from, and nothing there actually says it causes it. It says that men who have prostate cancer already and they ejaculate, they noticed a reduction in the cancer itself. That is kind of twisted like, clickbait headlines. And I know all about that. If you've been following me over the years, I've been written about in mainstream media, and none of the articles were actually really negative, but the headlines is what made it look like it was crazy. So don't fall for clickbait, do your research, and let's deal with the number one objection that I'm gonna get about the subject, which is, you're not a doctor. How are you qualified to talk about this? Well, look, make your own conclusions at the end of the day, but you can read, I can read, we can both read. So if you're willing to read, you don't need to be a doctor to be informed about your health. In fact, did you know that doctors, at least I know in my country of Canada, they only get about, I think, 14 hours. You could correct me if I'm wrong of the hours, but I think it was about 14 hours of nutrition time, meaning your mainstream doctors know very little about health. What they know is how to cure diseases, if something breaks, how to fix it. Like, they have very technical skills, and I'm not diminishing it. I'm not against mainstream medicine or anything like that. Don't take it that way either. But just know that they have a book of knowledge, very valuable, but know how to use it. But ultimately, you must take personal responsibility for your own life, your own health. And I say that about everything, even spiritual scriptures. Don't just, I read it here. I mean, how many people have blind faith in things they don't even understand, right? I read it here, it must be it. Well, test it, see, realize the information for yourself. All right. Let's talk about prostate cancer and does semen retention cause it? First of all, in my opinion, semen retention is proven. Semen retention has been written about in major texts like the Srimad Bhagavatam that's been around for thousands of years, the Tao Te Ching, which has been around for thousands of years. The Bible speaks about, men who drop their seed, or the illicit, immoral sexual behaviors, in the letters of Paul. So for thousands and thousands of years, chastity, monks, semen retention is just a word that we're using in the modern day, but the principle of semen retention has been around since time immemorial. If it was universally true that semen retention caused prostate cancer, every single monk would then have to have prostate cancer, because that would be a universal principle. How you know something is universally true? It has to be universally true for everyone. Prostate cancer is not found in every single monk. In fact, very, very little monks have ever actually experienced that. So therefore, it is not a universal truth. That's the first thing to understand. Now, second thing is, what does cause prostate cancer? And so I did a little bit of research on this, and because I wanted to be informed and dive into the subject a little deeper. So I'm gonna read some notes and stuff that I took from my phone. Prostate cancers occurs due to changes in the DNA of the prostate cells that lead to uncontrolled growth. These DNA changes can be inherited or acquired during a person's lifetime. While the exact cause of these changes is often unknown, and that seems to be more of a universal truth where there is no real hard fact to say this is exactly what causes it, there seems to be certain factors that contribute to it. So what are the factors that contribute to it? Well, first is genetic factors. Some gene mutations are passed down from parents, and that can increase your chances of getting prostate cancer. Changes in the DNA can also occur during a person's lifetime, largely due to lifestyle. Well, first of all, things like your age. So this type of cancer is often found most common in men 65 years or older, right? So it's not generally found in younger men. Interestingly enough, it seems like certain race or ethnicities are more prone, so it means it's more in their bloodline than others. Specifically, men of like Caribbean or African descent tend to have a higher risk of developing this type of cancer. Family history is huge. So again, we're talking about something coming down the lineage. So look and see, does your brother, does your father, does your uncle have this? A son, somebody connected with you, that may increase the risk because that may actually be within your DNA. Obesity seems to be a cause. Now we know obesity is a cause of many, many, many issues, just overall health. Being overweight or obese is linked to increased risk of aggressive types of cancer, specifically prostate cancer, and hormone levels. So high levels of certain hormones like IGF-1 are associated with this increase. Other factors are chemical exposure. Specifically, an Agent Orange might be associated, even though, again, there's no definite proof to that as well. Diet seems to be a contributing factor, but again, there is no definite proof. My own personal opinion is diet is the cause of so many people's issues. Diet and stressful lives, just living lives out of nature's design, right? Basically, the more that you are living outside of the lane that nature or God has allotted for you, the more dis-ease you're going to experience. Inflammation. Chronic inflammation of the prostate could be a contributing factor. In essence, let's say, prostate cancer is a complex disease. So you can't just pinpoint it and say this one thing is causing it, right? It's kind of like, you know, we like to put things in boxes. That person is all this. That person is that. They had this opinion, so this must mean everything about them. We know that's true. That's not true for you. It's not true for me. We as individual beings are complex. We have multiple layers of psychological makeups, physical makeups, things like our culture, our background, our religious beliefs, our experiences, our traumas. All of this goes into making up a human being. Well, think of prostate cancer like that. There's many, many factors that may be contributing to it. It's complex, where genetic mutations combined with other risk factors can potentially lead to this. Again, believe what you want. I'm not a doctor. My background is in the spiritual sciences and spiritual growth, personal development, but I have researched this subject tremendously. We've had thousands of guys over the last 4 years, literally I think we just hit over 3,000 guys have come through our different trainings and programs. Not once have I seen an indication of anything but positive results, physically, mentally, spiritually. I hope that gives you a little bit of comfort to go ahead and practice semen retention if it's calling to you. Use your own intuition, do your own research, and of course, if you want to ask questions or have a discussion, book some time with me. It's why I'm here. I'm here to be of service, to help, and to help you grow. Thanks so much for tuning in. Appreciate you being part of the channel. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the bell so you never miss a video. I'll see you on the next one. God bless you.